My name is Espen. I'm an interior designer, and this is my house in Norway. Welcome in. So this house is from 1914. We bought it in 2020. We've spent about 2 years renovating and restoring everything. And this was actually in the same family for the first 106 years of the house. So it was the 4th generation. And we were lucky enough to buy it in 2020. So you will see throughout the house that we have restored a lot of features and also added some features and kind of like updated the house to work in 2024, which we are now. Okay, so we'll start in the living room. As you can see, we have a pretty minimal style here. We wanted all of the original features to shine. So we kind of wanted everything to be like a blank canvas, if you want, or something like that. So that the fireplace and the flooring, all of the moldings and all of the details that we appreciate would shine through. In this room, everything, or hopefully, it looks pretty original with the moldings, the windows and everything. But actually everything that you see in here is new, but we reconstructed everything to be as similar as the original as we could. We of course needed to update the house to have better electrician, better piping and stuff like that. So a lot of things had to go. We also wanted to put down heated floorings because we are in Norway. So the windows, for example, are an exact copy of the original, but of course now has 3 layers of glazing instead of 1 that it was originally. Here we even had the handles handmade in America because they did not produce these anymore, and we wanted it to be an exact copy of the original nickel ones that we had. As an interior designer, I feel like often the TV is like the focal point of the room. We didn't want that as this is the main living room. So we chose this TV, which I think works more of like a furniture piece. So this is ancient now because it's from 2016. So it's an ancient TV, but it works for Netflix and that's all I need.
I love the flooring. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so we actually got these floorings custom made to be the precise dimensions of the original. So they have been individually cut, like piece by piece. Originally in this house, we only had this flooring in the dining room. What they did before, where they had the guests, is where they spent the money. So they had like this amazing floor there, and there were cheaper floors here. So when we redid the house, we kind of like call it an upgrade, and we wanted the same floors throughout the house. And as I mentioned, we did want heated floors, so we had to redo them anyways. And that's when it made more sense to just continue with this herringbone look. So it's actually hardwood, it's 2 centimeters thick. You can like sand it down, I don't know, a lot of times, and it will stay here for the next 100 years if you want to. We did this bench in the window section over there, which is more of like the day bed, relaxing, where we can chill, watch the TV. And then when we have like social arrangements or whatever, this is where we kind of end up. You can also see we have very low tables, probably more low than most people would like, but I really like to keep things down and then have something to come up after. And then you can always build it up with books and stuff or whatever. So it does make a statement, but it's not like the focal point of the room. One of the things that really made us fall in love with this house, we actually wanted this house for several years before we bought it. We were like walking past and I really wanted this house at some point. And then when it came for sale and we first got in the house, that what kind of like was most astonishing to me was the view. Because you have like a park straight in front here, and this is pretty close to the city center of this city. So you don't have like a lot of plots like this. This area started with like the neighbor house here, and then this house and so on. So this was like one of the first houses that was built in this area. And like during the summer, of course, it's so nice. Everything is just so green, so beautiful. Nowadays winter, it is Norway, so it's white and snowy. During the summer, it's super pretty. Okay, so let's move on to the dining room. This is one of the rooms that really made us fall in love with this house. I think it has such a special vibe, such a special energy, if you will. We have this completely original paneling, I guess is the correct word. We have left this completely untouched, so we just covered everything up through the renovation, then redid the floors, redid the ceilings, all of the walls and everything that you can see except this paneling. We have not lacquered it, we have not oiled it, we have not done anything to it. We just wanted the 110 years that it now has been alive to show with this panel. This was the only room that originally had the herringbone floor. We wanted to make something special with this room, so we added this border around this room. Yeah.
It's giving vintage.
Yeah, it is giving very vintage, but definitely. And as you can see for the furnishing here, we kind of went very opposite of the room, so it's in very strong contrast, I guess. So we have these Charles Eames office chairs originally, but we think it's very interesting to play around with like different styles and the very vintage and the very like raw, maybe like strict, if you will. The same goes with this, what is it called? Like a dresser, but this one at least. I've had this actually for many years. It was one of the first pieces we brought into the home. And I just loved this chocolatey brown color with this original paneling. We also had then the opportunity to add some light fixtures here on the walls. Also have a light here because there was none original.
Where are these lights from?
So this is a brand called Nura. I think it's Danish if I'm not wrong, but don't arrest me if I am. And this one is apparatus. So we have the same two lamps here in different heights because you order them in the height that you want. It's an American brand, so these are called the Clouds. And I think they are like in a lot of homes in New York and stuff. But we, as you can see, don't have like a lot of art on the walls and stuff like that, probably because we're just so interior geeks that we want like this dresser or this lamp or those kinds of things are like our pieces of art, if you will. Yeah, so we have like one of 3 fireplaces here. I showed you one earlier, probably saw one in the beginning as well. This is the third. So it's actually not original to the house, but it was put in by the previous owners. And it is made out of a Norwegian stone, which is called kleberstone. And it really keeps the heat well. So now we have heated floors, of course, so it's not an issue anymore. But for the previous owners that did not have it, this was a very cold house, and then this will stay like heated for probably like 10 hours after you have had a fire in it. So it's pretty nice, and I think it's very, I don't know, royal almost. It's like a crown or something.
Yeah, that's like a castle.
Yeah, it is. Welcome to my castle. We also have these amazing doors that we didn't actually know were in the house because they were like covered up, and also we had to like redo the entire thing because they were not working at all or anything, but now they work perfectly. Not that we need to close them, but they are cute.
Yeah.
Okay, should we move on to the kitchen or?
Yeah, take us through.
Yeah, okay. So this is maybe not surprisingly, but like this is the space we use most in the house, obviously, I guess. Even though we have this beautiful dining room, which I have showed you, we also it was very important to us to have a sitting arrangement in this room as well. We tend to like, even though we're 8 people over here, we kind of just end up here and everyone just scooches together. This is where we are like morning, day and evening. This room you see today was actually several small rooms originally. So you had like a pantry, which is very cozy, and you had like this place where the servants made the food ready to go into the dining room. You also have this open fireplace that was like the oven back then. So obviously we had to like change up this room to work better in 2024 because we don't use the kitchens the same way as we did back then.
That's
so
really interesting actually. So this house started back in 1914.
Yeah.
The owners would have had, helpers or team.
Yes. Okay. So this was like an own entry for like the servants. And actually I had to like fight a little bit with the government, is that what it's called? The planning department, yeah. That's what I'm looking for. We had to fight a bit with the planning department actually, because they really wanted us to keep like the servant entry. And I was like, well, lucky it is 2020 and we don't have servants anymore, so maybe it's time to like redo some things. And then we got allowed to change this door. So this was originally like very like a back entrance, but we wanted to do the double door with glazing so that we can open up during summer. we have like this area outside here is very sunny and it's very private. So if we are outside during summer, this is typically where we are. So we really wanted that connection between the kitchen and the outside. Probably like the theme about the entire house and this renovation as well, we really wanted to reconstruct everything so that it could have been original. And we are hoping that things that we put into this house will stay for another 100 years, or people renovate more now than they did before, so probably not, but at least it could if anyone wanted to. So that goes with the hardwood floors, it goes with all the moldings. It also goes with the countertop in marble. This is the Arabescado marble, so it has some more drama to it than the Carrera, which is maybe the more common one. The same with the kitchen. This is actually from a Swedish brand. They handcraft all of their kitchens, and this is actually made out of solid wood, which is not very normal to do anymore. But since the original kitchen was in solid wood, we wanted to continue that kind of vibe. So here it is. It's solid wood, we have brass handles, and it's actually hand painted on site with this oil paint that they used before. So everything is like very true to the original, even though it works better obviously today. And I love that it's like hand painted with a brush, so you can see like these brush marks. It's very, I think it's a bit British as well. Don't you do that a lot? Yeah? And actually this one is from England, from Perrin and Rowe, through Duval Kitchen is where we bought that one. So, but as you can see, of course, we have some updated appliances here, Gaggenau here and Gaggenau here. I don't love the Gaggenau dishwasher, so this is from Miele. And the fridge is from Liebherr, because that's my favorite, which is like the higher brand of Miele.
Is the fridge stocked up with any special gear goods?
No.
Give us a preview.
I mean, you can't. I mean, you cannot look in this fridge.
I'm curious.
It looks horrible.
No, not too bad. Pretty healthy overall.
Well, there is no food there. I mean, it looks like I'm starving, and I'm not. I mean, what is this? Well...
Do you like to cook a lot from home?
No, I don't. So actually, I say that we use this room a lot, but I don't cook a lot. But we have a lot of guests. Yeah. And my partner is better at cooking, so if we have guests, he is the cooker, one of us. Definitely the chef one of us. Here as well, we were a lot of back and forth as to what to do with this kitchen. Again, in these old houses, you have entry there, entry here, entry to the outside there, windows. You just have to work a bit around it, and there's not any wall space. That's why we chose to fit the island. Also for the social scene, it's very cozy to have this island as a social scene. Also the bench here, we just wanted to be like a bit cozy, and I'm kind of lazy in the mornings, so I like to just lay here and drink coffee. Made it a bit longer on both sides than this corner is, because socially to like sit down on a chair or a sofa kind of takes a little commitment, but we see that all the guests we have always go for like the simplest solution, and then we have like this easy corners to sit on. It's very easy for people to like feel at home. So it kind of like lowers your shoulders a bit. So that's like a little interior hack for those who are interested in that. Other than that, the same with the furnishing here. We have this table from the 60s. It's Danish, and we bought it used. And you can see it has like all of the stains. We never sand it down. We don't do anything with it. I just wanted to live its life. We like furniture that like can be with us for years, and can also like show that it has lived a life. Because we are here, we have parties, we have breakfast, we spill wine, and that is totally okay. That is, I guess, the biggest controversy with marble. And when we have marble, people are like, how do you have marble? It stains so easily. But then I like, well, embrace the stains. So I always say, just have a tequila party right at the gate, and then you're good to go. So you're kind of like,
I like that logic.
Yeah, because then you have all the lemon and all the tequila, it's fucked anyways. No, I can say fucked, sorry. Oops.
It's clear you're so passionate about, interiors. How did it all start?
It's just always been my hobby. It's just, like when I was 10 years old, the most exciting thing was if we got a new fridge at home. And then I was like rushing home from school to like look at the new fridge, which is like the most uninteresting thing everyone could imagine. But for me, that was just like the best day. And it's just been, I've redecorating all of my friends' parents' homes since I was 10, I think. So it's just been like that. I'm actually educated real estate agent. So I worked as that for a couple of years, but then I quit it and started my own business to do interior design and renovation of old homes specifically. That's like just where my heart lays, I guess.
What's the name of your business and where can we find out more?
Okay, so we are, I guess, pretty low key as of for now. So the business is called Studio S2. So it's me and my partner. And we don't have a website yet, but we have an Instagram, which I haven't posted anything yet, but we will get there. But as of for now, it's my personal Instagram, so you can check that out.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And tell you what I have noticed in here.
Mm-hmm.
You've chosen a piece of art. But your art just replicates your interiors.
Yes, it really does. So, well, I made this myself though, because I wanted it to go with the wall. Yeah, it just gives some structure to the wall, which I like. I mean, it would be beautiful with like crazy colors or whatever people would like here. That's for the next owners to decide. But as you have probably seen by now and will see further through as well, I just like it to be very simple. But it gives some structure. You can see this has even more of a matte finish than the walls. It's not completely the same color, but I have mixed in the same color. So pretty much, I guess. Also, actually, I love these stones though. I bought this in Denmark at an amazing place, Studio Oliver Gustav. So if you ever are in Copenhagen, check it out. They are also like from maybe I'm lying now, but they are, I think, from like the 1600s. Don't arrest me for it, but I think so. But they are like very old. They are natural stone. And I do believe actually it is marble. So it has just got so stained that it looks like this.
Been a few tequila parties on that.
Definitely, there has been some tequila parties, or hopefully there have. We also, maybe like a nice little detail, but old houses tend to have very many doors everywhere, and we don't use the doors as today, like they did in 1914. So we chose to make a lot of the doors here in the powder room upstairs to sliding doors. So this is the original door, but we have like reconstructed it and made it a sliding door. So you have the option to close it, but you rarely do. So if you wanted to have a chef here and close them in, you could, but we basically never do that. Okay, and let's move into the hall. So this is the very original hall. We have the original staircase here. These are called a king in Norwegian. I don't know if that is like woke to say anymore, but that's what I've learned at least. So these are in oak and all of the railings here are in oak. And then you see the paneling downstairs here is mahogany. And here, the same as in the dining room, we chose to kind of like clean up the lines, plaster everything, make everything simple and easy, and really have this mahogany paneling shine. And you can see behind me as well, this beautiful like handcrafted original window. So this I think is the only one layered window left in the house. We of course could not do anything with it. It's just too beautiful. So originally the fireplace that is in the living room was standing here, which obviously were super beautiful, but it kind of made the entry to the dining room very weird. So we decided to actually take it back to more of an original solution, which was to use some of the space behind here and build a fireplace in.
And what do you use that chair for?
So I just usually call this my TikTok chair, because somehow when I go into the house or out from the house or anything, I just often end up here and scrolling on TikTok. So it's like a lazy chair. It's a very weird place to sit, but I think it just feels very private. So I'm just sitting here chilling. No one can see me scrolling on TikTok. So here we have like a little wardrobe situation and then onto the powder room. Obviously, since this is a pretty small space, we did the same thing here as we did in the kitchen. So we converted the original door to the sliding door. The configuration of this whole area was different, so we redid everything, but we wanted to keep the original features as the door. And that also allows for a very easy and functional place for the powder room. So let's head upstairs. So you come up here and you have this landing, which really, I guess in interior design, it's pretty like much dead space, but that's what makes this landing so beautiful in my opinion, because it gives so much air to the space. This lamp is from the same brand as the ones downstairs. So this one is in oil rubbed bronze and calfskin. I think it's so cool. And again, like for me, that's like my piece of art instead of maybe a big painting, even though this wall would be very good for a large piece of art. There are so many like original features that we just really needed to keep. And we kind of just cleaned up the space, I would say. Just cleaned up everything for this amazing curve, the ceiling height, the lamp that I mentioned that we love, the arches, so that the things can really come to life. We really wanted to be as respectful as we could to the original design. This is also designed by a very famous architect back in 1914, like one of the best renowned, I guess, architects of the city. And we really wanted to, like, of course, have him in mind, redoing everything, because there is a thought about everything that is here. And then we just wanted to update the things that does not necessarily work in 2024 as life has moved on.
Do you remember the name of the architect?
Yes, it's Lars Storhaug. In Norwegian, Lars Storhaug. I don't know how to say it.
We'll see if we can find some information.
Yeah.
Put it in the description.
Yeah.
For those interested.
Yeah. Let's move on to the primary suite. So again, you can see the pretty simple lines. I like the bedrooms to be very calm. You see that I don't go crazy with the bedding. I just like crisp, white, clean linens. We did fit these shutters, which I love. Also this wardrobe situation. So we have this vaulted ceiling here, just a little bit of the room, and you see the lists go on the outside. So kind of like to eliminate that and make the room feel more squared, we added these two cabinets on both sides so that this just frames the window. It lifts the ceiling in a way. And then we have the same solution here as I had mentioned previously. It is the sliding doors, because again, this usually just stays open. Yeah, I wish I can say it was always this organized. Sadly, it's not, but I can pretend that it is. Yeah, again, I like to have like not that much stuff, so we kept it very clean in here. Just like these racks, I like to change out my clothing like by season. So I tuck away a lot and then I just have like a few pieces in here. Okay, so moving on to the primary bathroom. It's connected to the walk-in closet and the primary suite. Everything is from the English water monopoly. We wanted to go for like the, at least we think it is, a British vibe or like an English vibe. Again, you guys know better if it is. The same as I talked about down with the kitchen. We want everything to be in 50 years. This is just a porcelain sink and it will still be that. There are no drawers that will be ruined or will not work or like get ruined by the steam in the room or whatever. So again, we went for the marble on the floor. This is the Carrera one, more common. And we have some Arbescato just around the door frame to the shower there. Other than that, we really wanted this room to be not as bathroomy, if I can say that, if it makes sense. We wanted it to feel like a room. That's why we went for only tiles on the floor and just normal walls with like moldings, everything that goes around the entire house. And then we did classic subway tiles with the very dark grout in the shower. Of course, there we need tiles. But other than that, we just wanted it to be, yeah, a bit more cozy than maybe many bathrooms. Now moving in here, we have a little home office. This is, I mean, it is a bedroom originally, but because we didn't need it, we just made it to our little home office. So this is where we sit and draw and do stuff like that. Got this custom made all steel desk. We did not think about how heavy it was going to be when we ordered it. So when it arrived, we kind of regretted it a little bit. So think about that, guys, if you ever want to have steel like desk. I think it's like 150 kilos or something.
Jeez.
So let's move into this guest bedroom. Again, it's pretty similar to the other bedroom. Here you have this amazing art again. That is, yeah, this is the very expensive, exclusive art. But again, this is pretty similar to the room next door. You have this little balcony, which is a super nice feature in this space. You also have the evening sun here. That's why we didn't have this as our primary bedroom, because we wanted the morning sun. But you can have like your last glass of champagne here at like pretty late during the evening, if you would like, because you have sun, I think it's until like 9:30 or something during summertime. Now we also have the guest bathroom. I think it's better that I don't step in because it's not that big. I don't know, what do you think? Okay, I'll try. So this little guest bathroom, same as the other with terms of interiors. Again, we just went for tiles in the shower and this very simple wood moldings on the rest. Really love this sink as well. This has a pedestal as opposed to those the other sink that we saw in the other bathroom. I don't know what it's called.
Not legs, isn't it? Because that one stood on legs.
Yeah, legs is actually the word I'm looking for. That difficult. So so the other one stands on legs and this one is a pedestal. So it kind of gives a very different vibe. I think this is more of like a 30s vibe, maybe even 50s. But yeah, so this is the guest bathroom, or the bathroom that would belong to the other bedrooms. Then we have another floor. There's not much up there, but I'll take you guys and show you since we are here. Original entry to the attic was downstairs, so it was covering up the staircase, but we wanted to have the light from both the ceiling window and also this window into the hall and the landing that we saw downstairs. So we moved the entry to the attic up here and just went with a completely different vibe, I would say, with the doors. So this is like a very raw, I guess, industrial kind of look. So we did these floors with heating and stuff like that. We redid the chimneys so they look nice, but we didn't really know what to do up here.
You'd make a very cool gym.
Yeah, and that's what was our second thought. Like we could have a gym, and you don't need to do that much to have a gym. You can just place it up here, and then you have cables.
The floor is warm.
Yeah, because now it is on. Usually it's not.
What's it like pouring concrete on the top floor?
It wasn't actually a problem because we of course people had to like, what is it called? Like do the math to see if we can do it. So it wasn't really that big of a problem. They just took like this thing through the window there and then just poured it through. Okay, there we go. Let's see the basement. Mind your head here, because it's a bit tight. I guess we can go straight into this room. This is the wine cellar. So we kind of wanted to just install this rack with wine and then have this as like the area that you could sit, you could have a glass of wine. If you're very into wine and wine tasting, you can do those sorts of things down here. This has a very different feel and different vibe, obviously, than upstairs. Originally, there were probably, we don't really know, but there were probably nothing down here. So we just wanted to make this like completely different, really. But we did keep the original outer walls. So they are like just raw, open walls.
Although we don't have to go in, what else is through that way?
Yes, I will show you. I just have to text them because that is the apartment, but I can show you like the laundry room first. Again, we went for the same kind of industrial doors here that you saw in the attic, or will see in the attic, depending on how this tour will go. Yeah, and the same as the wine cellar. But here we went for the fluted glass so that you have some privacy, since it's usually a messy room. It's not usually this clean, but just don't come too far in because then it's not clean anymore. So let's move on to the living area in the basement. So we actually did this as a rental, because here in Norway you have like very, what is it called? Very good like tax situation if you have a rental in your own house. So we have 2 bedrooms here, a bathroom, and then this living area. Someone is living here at the moment, so it is what it is. And yeah, okay, takk på fin. Da har vi roen. Okay guys, that is pretty much it. So nice to meet you guys. Thank you for coming out here to Norway. Thank you to the Luxury Home Show for wanting to visit our house, and see you next time.